Welcome back to my channel, Couponing with Kayla, or welcome if you're new here. Who has been around my channel long enough to know that this used to be the norm, shopping while it is still dark? Okay, we're outside of CVS, and you might not be seeing this video till a little later in the afternoon, but I found a 24-hour CVS, so I was able to come shopping a little earlier like I used to. So anyways, I'm gonna head in here and check out the deals. You'll probably see my Walgreens video before this, so definitely head over and check that one out if you haven't yet. But we're gonna get into CVS. We're gonna see what we can pick up the second week of this epic beauty sale. That 10 off 25 coupon did reset, so you're gonna have that coupon. Now our other coupons may not reset, but we may get some other new coupons. They're gonna make for some really good deals. So let's go ahead, let's head in here and check out the deals. All right, y'all, we're gonna get in here and start shopping. So another reason that I wanted to come to this CVS is they have the makeup brushes, so I can do the Eco Tools deal that I wanted to do last week that I ended up doing the Real Technique sponges. These items are cute, y'all. Look at these. So if your store follows the 98% rule, as long as you're at 98% of $15, you'll still get the $10 extra buck for spending $15. So they have some sets that are $14.79. They have this one for $16.79. I actually think this one is pretty cute, and I've never gotten this before when I've done Eco Tool deals in the past. So I think I'm going to grab this as my first item. Vino products are buy one, get one 40% off. I'm going to grab two at $10.29. So my two products will total $16.46. We got a new 5 off 2 digital. So you'll pay $11.46. Get a $5 extra buck, making it $6.46 for two, but this also qualifies for our 10 off 25. Next, I'm going to be grabbing some Maybelline. So I really like the Grippy Primer. It is $12.79. We have a $2 digital, making it $10.79, and you get $4 back in extra bucks when you spend $12. So the final cost on this item would be $6.79, but again, we have our 10 off 25. Then I'm going to pick up the Neutrogena acne patches. My store was all out of them last week, but these are $10.79, and we have $10.49, and we have a $3.50 digital. So you'd pay $6.99, get a $5 extra buck, making them $1.99. If your store doesn't have that one, you could grab something like the facial wash, any of those items that qualify for that $3.50 digital. The next thing I'm going to grab is the Clean and Clear. The Clean and Clear is $9.99. Spend $10, get a $5 extra buck. We have a $2 digital, so the final cost is $2.99 for one. Here is one scenario for you for the 10 off 25. You could grab the Aveeno, the Neutrogena, and the Clean and Clear. All these would total $36.94. So we're actually plenty over that $25 mark. We have a 10 off 25, a $5 for Aveeno, $3.50 for Neutrogena, and $2 for Clean and Clear. That would get you down to $16.44. We would receive back a total of $15 worth of extra bucks on this transaction. And then we're also submitting for a rebate when you spend $30 on select products, which include the Aveeno, the Neutrogena, the Clean and Clear, and other products. You will get $10 back in the form of a gift card for that rebate, making the final cost for this transaction completely free and an $8.56 moneymaker. Now, shout out to Miss D, Coupon Queen. I saw her post a deal about that rebate over on her Facebook page, and then I decided to go ahead and look and see what other products I could put into that. So I know that she grabbed a Neutrogena product and also a Clean and Clear product, and there's other products that are included in the rebate, but I decided to go ahead and add in the Aveeno. So definitely check out the rebate, check out the deals at CVS, and see how you can make the deal the best for you. Another scenario that I want to give you with all the items that we have grabbed so far is using our 10 off 25, plus if you have a 5 off 40 CRT. So I rarely get those CRTs, so I was kind of excited to get one. So I went ahead and put together this scenario where we're grabbing the makeup brushes, the Maybelline, and all of these other items. So all of this before any coupons is actually going to total $66.52. That's crazy that it costs that much for just a few items. but of course we are not going to pay that much. So we're going to get into what coupons we're going to use. So we're using a $2 off Maybelline, $5 off Aveeno, $3.50 off Neutrogena, $2 off Clean and Clear. We're also using that $10 off of a $25 purchase and the 5 off 40 coupon. You'll pay around $39.02 unless you have more extra bucks that you can use to lower your out-of-pocket costs. For example, I'll be using my $10 Care Pass to pay less out-of-pocket. Then between all the extra bucks we're getting back, we're getting a total of $29 in extra bucks, plus we're submitting for a $10 rebate, making the final cost for these items completely free and a 2-cent moneymaker. If you like the Batiste dry shampoo, I just want to show you guys, these are regular price, but we do have some new digital coupons, and don't forget the 10 off 25 also works for these. Another deal that I'm going to do, and I'll show you guys the receipts when I get done, but I'm going to grab the Eco Tools and the Maybelline on a separate transaction, use the 10 off 25 and a $2 digital. Then when I earn $14 in extra bucks on that transaction, I'm going to roll it into this deal. The Revlon makeup right here, it doesn't have any coupons, but this is the kind that my daughter uses, so I can use the $14 worth of extra bucks from transaction 1 to pay on this and only pay about $3 out of pocket and earn another $4 extra buck. But like I said, I'll go over the deal with you guys once we get home and go over the receipts, but this is going to be a transaction that I'm going to do on a separate account. I'm going to split it into 2 transactions and roll those extra bucks. A new digital coupon for Ajax and Palmolive. So if you were grabbing the Palmolive buy one get one 40% off to a total $7.50, and we have a $2.50 digital coupon, you'd pay $5.50, get a $2 extra buck, making it $3.50 for 2 of these. We have the Persil on sale this week for $6.99, and there is a $3 digital coupon attaching to this, making it $3.99. Plus we get 50 cents on Ibotta. It'll make the final cost just $3.49 for one of these. Just scan them on your app in the store. Make sure it's attaching for you before purchasing, but I think that's a pretty good deal. I scanned it, and on the bigger bottles, the $3 one didn't attach. So I'm going to go ahead and do the spend 30, get 10 deal that I showed you guys in last week's video with the Cottonelle with a $1 digital. And then I'm going to grab the Tide for $6.99 with a $1 digital and the Tide for $12.99 with a $3 digital. I'm going to go ahead and grab those 3 items, and I'm going to roll some extra bucks to pay for these. All right, guys, so this is everything I'm picking up for the second week of the deals. I'm getting all different products than I got last week. So let's head home, let's go over the receipts, and talk about how we're rolling the rewards from each transaction to pay less out of pocket. All right, y'all, it's light outside now, but I got all my stuff and I'm going to Walgreens. All right, guys, I am back home, and this is my CVS haul for this week. We're going to go over the receipts and talk final cost of all of our items. I did use 2 accounts at CVS today, so I used one that is my regular account under my phone number, and then I used one that is under my daughter's phone number. So everything from here over was on one account, and then I did these 3 items on a separate one. So we're going to go ahead and start off with those because those are just small transactions. So for the Eco Tools and the Maybelline Grippy Primer, I was grabbing those 2 items as my 10 off 25 deal for the beauty event. So these 2 products right here, I had a $2 digital for the Maybelline. Otherwise, I just had the 10 off 25. So you can see on my receipt right here, all of my items, you see the $2 and the $10. I had my $10 extra care pass, which is $10 in extra bucks you get each month when you only pay $5 a month for that. So I'm going to calculate in that $5 that I didn't technically pay later in the transaction. But you can see right here, I paid $5.58 out of pocket on that transaction. Then if you add back in the $10 care pass, that would put you at $15.58. We're getting back $14 worth of extra bucks on that transaction, making the final cost for those just $1.58. Now, because I don't pay $10 for the care pass, so it's not like a regular $10 extra buck that we earned on a previous transaction that we're figuring in. We're only figuring in a $5 cost on that. So if I add that back in, it actually would make it free and a $3.42 moneymaker. Now, what I did is I took my $14 in extra bucks that I earned on these 2 items, and I got this foundation right here. This is the kind that my daughter likes, and it is not cheap, and we don't always get deals on it. So I went ahead and I grabbed this for her. So you can see on the receipt for this one, it didn't have any coupon, so I was just using those extra bucks we just earned, which was $14 in extra bucks, and I had 22 cents in like the 2% back they give us in extra bucks. So we paid $3.27 out of pocket on that transaction and got back a $5 extra buck. Now if I calculate this back in, if I add back in the $14 worth of extra bucks I used, we'd be at $17.27, get $5 back. The real cost for that would be $11.27. But seeing as my out-of-pocket cost was less, we're going to look at it like, okay, we paid $5.58 out of pocket, $3.27 out of pocket. Then out-of-pocket cost for these three items for me was $8.85. But final cost for them, calculating this one as being a $3.42 moneymaker, this one being $11.27. The final cost for those three items would be $7.85. Then I went ahead and did my transactions on a separate account. So on this account, this is actually the one I have under my daughter's phone number, and they gave me a $5 off a $40 purchase coupon. I rarely get those coupons, so I guess maybe on newer accounts you get those. So let me know if you've gotten anything like that. But in order to use the 5 off 40 and also use the 10 off 25 for the beauty deal this week, I needed at least $65 worth of products. So everything that I put on this transaction was the Eco Tools, another one of those Maybelline Grippy Primers, 2 of the Aveeno, the Neutrogena, the Clean and Clear. So that was those items on this transaction, okay? And isn't that crazy to think that those items right there would cost over $65, you guys? So let's go ahead and let's look over this receipt. You can see our $5 digital for Aveeno, $2 for Maybelline, and we had the 10 off 25. Now, what I didn't realize is that my $3.50 for Neutrogena and my $2 for Clean and Clear didn't come off. Honestly, you guys, because I was doing 2 separate accounts, I think that I may have thought that I didn't use those digitals on this account yet, but had actually used them on this one and not my other account. So that ended up costing me more. As you can see, my total was $34.32 when it actually should have been around $29 after using my Care Pass. 5 off a $40 purchase, and I also signed up for Care Pass on this account, so we get a $10 extra buck once a month, but you only pay $5 a month for that, or less if you're doing the annual one. Now on this, I paid $34.32. That's how much I paid out of pocket. If you have more extra bucks, you can lower that by a lot, but that's just what I had to work with. So on this transaction right here, we earned back a $10 extra buck for this deal, a $4 extra buck here, $5 extra buck, $5 extra buck, and another $5 extra buck. What is that, like $29 back in extra bucks that we got on this transaction? Now, since those 2 digitals didn't come off for me, and honestly, I think that could have been a mistake on my part, because that happened, as you can see, I paid more, but because we're adding back in our Care Pass that really only cost me $5 a month, I'm going to take that $5.32 that this cost me, and with that $5 Care Pass, it gets to be about 32 cents, but it could have been free and a moneymaker for me. For you, it should be free and a 2-cent moneymaker at least. Now, on my next transaction, I was taking all the extra bucks I earned on this, except for this one, and using it to lower out-of-pocket costs. So the next transaction that I did was on the 2 Tide products in the Cottonelle. Those products were part of the Spend 30 promotion, so spend 30, get 10. Now, as long as you're at the 98%, so 98% of $30, you're good to go. So my total was $29.97 because my store follows the 98% rule. Keep in mind, I was shopping at a store that I've never shopped at before, and I was just testing out, but it did follow the 98% rule. Let me show you this on the bottom of the receipt really quick. So one of the ways that you can tell if they follow it is like 1, if your reward prints or not. But 2, right down here, you can see that it says that I earned the reward. It shows how much I need to earn it. So I was 3 cents off, right? But it printed me the $10 extra buck. If it shows that and it doesn't print the extra buck, then that means that you're going to have to buy 1 more item in order to get to that. But hopefully your store follows the 98% rule and you don't have to worry about it. Now on this transaction, you can see that my total was 97 cents. It actually should have been $0 plus tax out of pocket on this transaction, But my $3 digital for Tide came off, my $1 digital for Tide, but my $1 for Cottonelle didn't come off for some reason. I'm not sure why. And then we used all those extra bucks except for the $4 one. So we used a $10 and three $5. So you're either going to be at 97 cents out of pocket or 0 out of pocket on this transaction. Earn another $10 extra buck. Now you can stop there, save that extra buck for next week's deals, or if you want to roll those into another deal, you could do that. I decided to go ahead and roll it into a deal with the Charmin and the Persil, because when I was scanning the Persil and I realized the $3 digital attached to that one, I thought that was a pretty good deal, and I knew that we had a $1 digital for Charmin, so I was like, okay, let's go ahead and grab this. Now, just to recap, final cost for those 3 items was $14.97 after calculating everything back in. Now, for this one right here, we were not expecting any extra bucks back. We're just grabbing the Persil and the Charmin. So you can see those items. You can see my $3 and $1 digital and my $10 extra buck from that other transaction. That got us down to 98 cents plus tax out of pocket on that one. So very low out of pocket cost on that transaction. And you can also submit over to Ibotta for 50 cents back on the Persil. So on this transaction right here, technically if you add back in the $10 extra buck, your final cost is $10.98. Or after the Ibotta rebate, it's $10.48. So overall today, between these transactions right here, you guys, I paid about $36 out of pocket, but I am going to get back that $10 rebate that I'm going to be able to use. And so if you calculate that in, it's around $26. Now, actually, like your cash cost. Over here on this one, I paid very little out of pocket, like we already talked about, so about $8.85. But overall, my final cost for those over there was $7.85, and then my final cost for all of these transactions was $26.27. So let me know down in the comments below if you're going to grab any of these same deals. As always, I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that it was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite deal is this week, what items you're picking up, and don't forget to grab your free printable list and your money saving apps in the description box, and I'll see you later. Bye guys.